Have you ever seen someone cruelly target a disabled child in broad daylight, right in front of a crowd? The kind of moment that stops your heart and sets your blood on fire? Let me tell you about the day my daughter Lily and I faced that nightmare and how justice roared back in a way no one saw coming. It was a sunny Saturday in May, the kind of day that feels like summer's first kiss. Lily, my 9-year-old, rolled into our Levi-wying room, her face lit up with a grin I hadn't seen in weeks. "Mom, can I wear my new blue dress to the barbecue?" she asked, her voice bubbling with excitement. Lily has cerebral palsy, which means she's been in a wheelchair since she was 4. But that's never dimmed her spark. She's the brightest, most hopeful kid I know. That blue dress, a gift from her grandma, was decked out with sparkles and lace. It made her feel like a star. "You bet, sweetie," I said, helping her slip it on. "You're gonna steal the show." We lived in Oakwood Heights, a picture-perfect suburb outside Chicago. I'd moved us there 3 years ago, chasing a safe, friendly place for Lily. But behind the neat lawns and cheery hellos hid a VY our HOA president, Karen Walsh. At 52, Karen, a former ad exec, ruled the neighborhood like her personal fiefdom. She was obsessed with rules. Grass couldn't grow past 2 inches, trash cans had to vanish from sight, and Christmas lights got exactly 30 days. But her real ugliness wasn't about regulations. It was her cold contempt for anyone she saw as less than. I first met Karen 6 months after we moved in, at an HOA meeting. Lily was with me, and Karen's eyes zeroed in on her wheelchair like it was an eyesore. "Is that permanent?" she asked, pointing at Lily's chair like it was a broken toy. "Yes," I said, keeping my tone even. "Lily has cerebral palsy." Karen made a little grunt, half scorn, half disgust, and ignored us for the rest of the night. From then on, she found ways to needle us, fake citations for violations, scheduling events in places Lily couldn't access, and snarky remarks about special needs. Here's what Karen didn't know: I'm not just Claire Bennett, single mom. I'm Claire Bennett, one of Chicago's top disability rights lawyers, with a trail of wins against bigots and biased systems. I'd kept my job low-key, handling Karen's petty jabs with patience. But that was about to end. That morning, I watched Lily spin her wheelchair in front of the mirror, giggling as her dress flared. "Will the other kids like it?" she asked, a flicker of worry in her eyes. My heart twisted. She'd faced enough stares and snubs to feel nervous about standing out. "They'll love it," I promised, braiding her blonde curls and tying them with blue ribbons. She beamed at her reflection. "I look like a MOVIE star," she whispered. "You are a MOVIE star," I said, kissing her forehead. "Don't let anyone tell you different." We got to the community center right on time. The outdoor space was a festival of balloons, streamers, and checkered tablecloths. Burgers sizzled, kids laughed, and the air felt alive. "Claire!" "Lily!" called Frank Miller, our next-door neighbor. Frank, a 70-something Vietnam vet, had a soft spot for Lily, treating her like the granddaughter he'd lost years ago. "Miss Lily, that dress is stunning," he said, making her giggle. He leaned in, whispering, "I saved you a prime spot by the cupcakes." As we moved through the crowd, neighbors greeted Lily warmly. The Parker twins, a pair of 8-year-old boys, showed off their face paint. Mrs. Lee from down the street gushed over Lily's dress. For a moment, I thought maybe I'd misjudged this place. Maybe Karen's venom wasn't the whole story. Then I saw her, Karen, holding court by the sign-in table, decked out in pristine white designer clothes, her blonde hair flawless despite the heat. She was surrounded by her loyal posse, the kind of women who loved tattling on neighbors for minor infractions. I steered Lily toward the kids' area, where face painting and balloon animals were in full swing. "I'll be right over there," I told her, pointing to the adult mingle zone. "Have fun, okay?" Lily was already mesmerized by a balloon artist twisting a giraffe. I'd barely walked 10 steps when Karen's voice sliced through the noise like a blade. "Excuse me, but what is she doing here?" I turned to see her pointing at Lily, her face twisted in disgust, loud enough for everyone to hear. She was talking to Ellen, the event organizer, who looked like she wanted to disappear. Lily's playing with the other kids, Ellen mumbled. Playing? Karen scoffed, while VYing at Lily's wheelchair. She's a hazard with that thing. It's ruining the fun for everyone else. My blood simmered, but I kept my cool and walked over. Problem, Karen? Her fake smile didn't reach her eyes. Claire, I just think Lily might be better off somewhere else. These games aren't meant for her condition. Her condition? I repeated, my calm fraying. The crowd was starting to watch. It's not fair to the other kids, Karen said, her voice syrupy with fake concern. Maybe take her home. She'd be happier. Before I could fire back, laughter burst from the kids' area. Lily was in the middle, her face painted like a dragon, holding a balloon puppy, surrounded by grinning kids who didn't care one bit about her wheelchair. She looks pretty happy to me, I said, ice in my voice. So do the others. Karen's lips tightened. Accidents happen when you mix different abilities. We don't want trouble. Right then, chaos broke out. Lily, reaching for another balloon, knocked over a soda cup. The liquid spilled, a few drops splashing Karen's pristine sneakers. What happened next was like a horror movie in slow motion. You careless little nuisance! Karen shrieked, storming toward Lily. Look at this mess. I'm sorry! Lily squeaked, shrinking in her chair. It was an accident. But Karen was unhinged. She grabbed Lily's dress and yanked. The fabric tore with a gut-wrenching rip, and Lily burst into sobs. These people don't belong in public! Karen yelled, still clutching the torn lace. They're a burden! Something in me broke. Get your hands off my daughter, I said, my voice low and lethal. I crossed the gap in 3 steps, grabbed Karen's wrist, and forced her to let go. She jerked back, red-faced. Don't touch me. I'm the HOA president. I'll have you kicked out. The crowd was thick now, phones recording, Lily crying as she tried to hold her dress together. Frank pushed through, his voice booming. Karen Walsh, you're a disgrace, he said, standing guard by Lily. Stay out of this, old man. Karen spat. Attacking a kid concerns us all. Frank shot back, as murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. Karen whirled on me. I want you and your daughter gone. I'm filing a complaint. We have standards here. I smiled a cold, sharp smile. Karen, you have no idea who you're messing with. She sneered. I know exactly who you are. A single mom who can't handle her disabled kid. No, I said, pulling out my phone. You're dealing with Claire Bennett, senior partner at Bennett Vaughn, the firm that buries people like you in disability discrimination cases. I've won over 200 of them. Karen's face went white. That's right, I said, dialing. I'm also tight with Judge Linda Hayes, who has zero tolerance for power-tripping bullies who attack disabled kids. I raised the phone. Linda, it's Claire. Send Officer Daniels to Oakwood Community Center. We've got an assault on a minor. You can't do this, Karen stammered, but her eyes screamed panic. Oh, I can't, I said, nodding at the crowd. We've got 30 witnesses and a dozen videos of you assaulting my 9-year-old because she has cerebral palsy. That's a felony, Karen. Plus ADA violations, emotional distress, and breach of HOA duty. The air was thick with silence, all eyes on Karen as her world crumbled. Officer Tom Daniels arrived fast. He knew the neighborhood and was all business. After watching the videos, he pulled out handcuffs. Karen Walsh, you're under arrest for assault and civil rights violations. This is absurd. Karen screeched as the cuffs snapped on. It was just a dress. You attacked a disabled child in front of witnesses, Daniels said. You have the right to remain silent. As Karen was led away, still ranting, I knelt by Lily, who was shaken but calming down. You okay, sweetheart? I asked, checking her torn dress. She nodded, then whispered, Why does she hate me, Mom? She doesn't hate you. I said, hugging her. She's scared of what she doesn't get. That's her problem, not yours. You're perfect. Neighbors stepped up, outraged by Karen and supportive of Lily. Frank pulled me aside. I've been tracking her discrimination for months, he said. Used to be a paralegal. Got records for your case. You've been documenting? I asked, stunned. He nodded. She's been griping about undesirables since you moved in. Knew she'd slip up. The barbecue went on, quieter but kinder. Neighbors brought Lily treats, and the kids pulled her back into their games. That night, after extra hugs and bedtime stories, I started building our case. As a lawyer, I knew to move fast. By morning, I'd filed a police complaint and prepped a civil suit. What I found digging into Karen's past was worse than I imagined. She targeted others, a deaf couple fined for signing at meetings, a vet harassed over his service dog, elderly folks pushed out for using walkers. Then I hit the jackpot. Karen had siphoned $50,000 in HOA funds for her fancy life, slashing legally required accessibility upgrades. Within days, the story exploded. Videos of Karen's attack went viral, sparking outrage and hashtags. Disability rights groups rallied behind us. Karen's face was everywhere, headlines screaming about her cruelty. She hired a slick lawyer who tried to spin her as the victim, claiming Lily provoked her, and the tear was accidental. They called me a greedy attorney chasing a payout. It didn't work. The criminal trial was a slaughter. The victims, the witnesses, Karen's own hateful words. These people don't belong. Nailed her. The judge was merciless. You abused your power to torment a disabled child, she said. Your actions are a stain on this community. Karen got 6 months in jail, 3 years probation, 500 hours of community service at disability centers, $75,000 in damages to Lily, and mandatory sensitive VYT training. The civil trial was even uglier. Former HOA members exposed Karen's bullying. Residents detailed her discriminatory rules. A forensic accountant laid bare her theft. Karen lost everything ordered to repay the stolen money plus penalties, banned from HOA roles, divorced by her husband, disowned by her kids, her reputation in ashes. Oakwood Heights changed overnight. I was voted HOA president, and we rewrote the rulebook, anti-discrimination policies, full accessibility, a diversity committee. We used the recovered funds for ramps, wider doors, and an inclusive playground. Lily became a local hero. A clothing brand launched an adaptive dress line named The Lily, with sturdy seams and easy closures. Her story spurred a state law stiffening penalties for disability discrimination and mandating HOA training. A year later, we held another barbecue. The paths were smooth, tables at all heights, games for everyone. Lily, in a new dress from her namesake line, gave a speech that wrecked us all. Last year, someone said I didn't belong because of my wheelchair. But belonging isn't about how you move. It's about kindness. Thank you for showing me that differences make us special. Then Karen appeared, looking worn and small, holding an envelope. Can we talk? She asked. I bristled, but Lily touched my arm. It's okay, Mom. Karen knelt by Lily, tears falling. What I did was unforgivable. I was cruel and wrong. Therapy's shown me the pain I caused. I'm so sorry. She handed Lily the envelope, a check for a cerebral palsy charity, and a letter promising monthly donations. It's not enough, Karen said, but it's a start. Lily looked at her, then said, Everyone messes up. Thank you for trying to be better. I was floored by my daughter's grace. Lily's story spread. I wrote a book, donating proceeds to accessibility projects. Lily started a YouTube channel on inclusion, hitting 1 million subscribers. Oakwood became a national model for welcoming communities, with workshops and support groups. The community center now displays Lily's torn blue dress in a case, a plaque reading, For Lily Bennett, who showed us courage knows no limits and kindness is our greatest strength. Karen served her time and now volunteers at a disability center, sharing her story as a warning. Lily, now 12, is fiercer than ever, dreaming of becoming a lawyer like me. Sometimes, passing the community center, she points to her framed dress and says, "That's when we changed everything." And she's right. One cruel act sparked a revolution of compassion. One little girl in a blue dress showed us what strength really means. Different isn't less, it's beautiful. And that's the truth we learned when a bully picked the wrong kid to cross, and the wrong mom to fight.